let's talk about some transfers. Now, we said on Wednesday that West Ham were unimpressed with Spurs' initial bid for Mohammed Kudus. Well, they've now agreed a £55 million deal. Kudus had an £85 million release clause and signed from Ajax for £38 million in 2023. So they made a bit of money on him. Not a huge amount of money, Andy Brassel, but that £85 million release clause, I think everyone thought, yeah, we're not going to get that. He clearly wants to go.
That's right, and it's a decent profit. It's a decent profit for a guy who didn't play well last season.
An excellent point to make.
And look, the fact is, as we said earlier in the week, I think on Wednesday's ramble, West Ham need the money now. Otherwise, they can't do anything transfer-wise. They can't sell Paquetá at the moment, so they need something to really kickstart the Graham Potter era, because at the moment it all feels a bit. Nothing's happening, doesn't it?
And it was about time they sold again to Spurs, Peter, wasn't it? It's been so long since the last one.
I think so, yeah. But that kind of front line for Spurs is looking pretty tidy and pretty tasty. And
yes.
If I was the departed Australian leader, I would be annoyed. Because I could have used that.
Did you see
someone
him
get a quote from him?
Did you see him receiving that award? You might get that quote in Greek. Did you see him receiving that award in Greece from the Super League?
Which award?
For being the first Greek coach to win a European trophy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And he did the acceptance speech in Greek as well. It was excellent. Really good.
Oh, I see. Aussies are going, hey, come on. We should do that. Get him back here. You're the first. I don't know, mate. Probably the first.
Australian crafted football manager.
Yeah, it's all up for grabs, isn't it? Well done. Well done him. Lest we forget that. Yes, of course. No, but you're right, Peter. Those Spurs, though, they've added Kudus in there.
Richarlison will probably leave, but everybody else is just looking pretty tidy. And I'm talking around myself there. Son's obviously a bit of a spend farce, and maybe it's not that good then. Okay, fine.
Yeah, is Thomas Frank going to deploy like an old-fashioned 2-3-5 and get it up the way?
Yeah.
But look, we know that Spurs, they had their injuries last season. It'll be interesting to see if they have injury problems again while Thomas Frank is in charge, because some suggested, as we well know and remember, that Postecoglou's methods often are not really conducive for players kind of staying fit and so on. But anyway, that's by the by. They are in the Champions League, which is something I keep needing to remind myself with Spurs.
Yeah.
They want to be competing on all fronts. They don't want to be hanging down the bottom of the table like they were last year. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. This is a good signing. I wonder where he'll play, but Kudus, I suppose the best that West Ham got out of Kudus was maybe when Bowen was playing more centrally or when he was injured and Kudus was kind of off the right. But would you expect that? Think about poor little Brennan Johnson, Andy.
Yeah, what happens to Kulusevski? All these signings immediately make me think, who are they getting rid of as well?
Yes.
I know you're talking about depth and squad, but someone like Kulusevski, who has designs, whether they're realistic or not, on being one of the best players in the world, he's not going to say, oh, yeah, I'll come off the bench. That'll be fine. I think the other thing is, when Pete was saying up top, they look really exciting. They do. Imagine this attack with that defence.
Yeah.
Especially once they're one or two injuries down. Now, I guess you're thinking, post-Postecoglou, maybe Romero and Van der Ven are fit more. I think that might be a part of it. But either way, they're not going to play 55 games a season, surely, because no one does.
But then you chuck in Morgan Gibbs-White because Spurs have activated his £60 million.
Talking of top heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
for this one feels a bit more, a couple of years ago kind of Spurs, fringe England player by virtue of the fact it's quite congested kind of setup there. And they've they've overpaid, which they sometimes do for themselves. But
that is his release clause, though.
Yeah, it wasn't. But you would still argue that is
the release clause is almost always
an overpay. But it's overpay and ruin.
Yep.
But you just hope this time against hope that this isn't going to be the situation. But good player, but are they going to get the best out of him? I think the jury's out. Just Spurs just seem to do ruin players in that position for me.
And straight away, your question really is: can you fit once everyone's fit? Do you fit Kudus, Gibbs-White and Maddison in the same team?
No.
I think there's a straight answer to that, really, isn't there?
Look,
Morgan Gibbs-White is, no bones about it, my favourite player in the Premier League.
Your favourite?
Yes.
Wow.
I love him. I love
watching him. Is that
him.
because Tom Kearney hasn't signed an extension with Fulham?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. That's exactly it.
Want to make sure we're on the same page here.
Yeah, and also it has to be an England player, doesn't it, Marcus?
Yes.
You can't have any Scots in there. Come on.
Well, okay.
See?
On a technicality.
Thank you very much.
Got me there.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Well played.
it makes me feel slightly sad to imagine Forest after the season they've just had going into next season with no Elanga and no Gibbs-White.
Do you think them failing to qualify for the Champions League is that the reason for this? Do you think if
I think they would have kept them if they'd have been in the Champions League. Yeah, probably.
And that is such a sickener.
Are they on a yo-yo string if they find themselves in?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they were waiting. All this business with Palace and Textor, which we'll talk about in the next part of the show. Europa League. Can we interest you in the Europa League? No, I'm a Champions League man. No,
maybe this is what happens when Lyon aren't going to buy all your old crap anymore.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, we'll talk about Forest another day. But you're right. The way that Espirito Santo got the best out of Gibbs-White in a Forest shirt was glorious. And I know what you mean when you say he's your favourite. Certainly one of a lot of people's favourite players in the Premier League. Just so exciting. And you wonder how he will play at Spurs. But you remember this is Thomas Frank Spurs. This is not Postecoglou Spurs, which very different entity, of course.
He's 25 as well, heading into his best years. I mean, it's
And again, in terms of size of club and tradition and what they've done in previous years, Spurs are a bigger club. I know Forest fans will say, "Well, hang on a minute here. How many European Cups have they won?" Or where did they finish?
They've got a ton of money. They've got a big stadium, and they're in the Champions League. And they've got the best stadium in Europe, and they're in the Champions League. Sorry,
indeed, and they've got the trophy monkey off their back as well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I guess at this point, it's a bit disingenuous, isn't it, on the 11th of July to say, "Oh, I don't know how it's all going to fit together for the start of the season," because it's quite a long way off, and
the window is still wide open.
Yeah, but then you compare with other teams around them, and they seem to be doing business quicker than I've ever seen them do business. I mean, obviously, when you go to a club and you're sort of making moves towards a player who has a release clause, that by virtue of the fact speeds everything up, expedites the process. But that's the quickest I've ever seen it by anyone.
Yeah. There's
came out of nowhere, bang, he's there.
There's no saga, is there?
I guess the question mark is with Spurs, and it's never been about going and buying good players. And I think it's something that if you speak to Spurs, I think it's if you speak to Spurs fans, what they find frustrating is from the outside, people who aren't have a passing interest in Spurs or are general Premier League fans or fans of another Premier League team will go, "Oh, what are they got to complain about? They spent this much on Dominic Solanke. They spent this much on Romero. They spent this much on Van de Ven." But where's the strategy? Where's the plan? Where's the bit for if you get two centre-halves injured during the season?
Yes.
These are the questions that have not yet been answered. So, look, this is the start of something promising for Spurs. It's not the end point. They're quite a long way off that. And again, emphasise 11th of July.
Yeah. You got to make the point that it's not the big ticket items that save your season. It's the ones that are around 10 million, 15 million players rather than that.
Yeah, the right players rather than the sexy players. It's fine to have sexy players as well, though, isn't it?
Oh, we all love a sexy player.
Yeah, sexy.
Yeah. I mean, where would we be without sexy?
Exactly.
Yeah. Where would we be?
I'd have a lot more time on my hands, I'll tell you what. Horny little summer boy.
Yeah. and a lot less something else on your hands as well.
Marcus,
come on.
Why do you always have to have a topper? Just enjoy the idea of masturbating and move on.
It's Friday Speller. You're responsible for this. You know what he's like.
Sure, Andy. He's right.
He's horny too. he's horny for the big dog.
It's ever so hot here. It's ever so hot here.
There we are.
Oppressively so.
Well, look, I have to say that all these Spurs signings, whatever one may think of them, I look at Thomas Frank and I think that they're so much more stable in my mind because he's there.
Because Frank's, I agree with that.
I understand we've not seen him manage outside of Brentford in this country, so I do that. But
he's got two solid first names, and I enjoy it.
Exactly,
that's a framework for me.
Great head of hair. He interviews well.
Yeah,
he just comes across
upside down eyes,
all that kind of stuff.
But it's part of the sell to him as well, isn't it?
Yes,
you must be sitting in there thinking, "Oh yeah, they're Brentford was great, but now I'm getting Morgan Gibbs-White. I'm getting Kudus."
Look at him spending this money. He can't believe his luck, can he?
Daniel, can I write the cheque?
Yes, exactly.
Can I sign the cheque?
And he's looking at the potential places where they might play in the Champions League. I'm pleased. I think it was a few months ago. How much doom and gloom for Spurs? They finally win the trophy, and now look at them. I think it's looking pretty good. But as you say, Andy, 11th of July. It could all go way wrong before that. No, 11th of July. Let's there. Now let's stay in North London because Arsenal have reportedly agreed a deal with Chelsea for Noni Madueke. Chat of about £50 million. This one. This is divided opinion this transfer. People saying, Peter, that, whenever Arsenal buy from Chelsea, it tends not to work out very well. Why are they buying him? Surely they should go for better when they've been linked with Eberechi Eze or even Rodrigo from Real Madrid. And also, where's he going to play? What do you think about this potential signing?
Usually, with these kind of players, you do sort of go, they were available, so we'll get him because they were available. But Chelsea players are always available because that's their whole business prospect. So I don't know why they've gone for this player at this moment in time. I don't think they're not flush in that position, but I do think that they are. They could do a little bit better for a side that will be challenging for the title next season.
Yeah, because I think people would say, okay, if he was up for say like 15, 20 million, which of course he's never going to be. I understand that, but sort of as you mentioned earlier, the sort of the signing like Norgard, you think okay, he's a squad player, he's a good operator. Okay, he's 31. But, 10 million, you get a few of these guys in, as you say, make the squad a bit better.
As well.
Exactly, yeah. And I know Arsenal are not short of money per se, but 50 million's obviously quite a lot for a guy who one would think would be a squad player. But where do you sit on this transfer? Potential transfer.
I guess the question is, would you rather pay 50 mil for Madueke, who I think he's kind of like the Newcastle United of Premier League players, in that he's got a really high ceiling but quite a low floor,
right?
As well.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
On his day, I think he can do anything.
Yeah, he was England's best player against Andorra, for example, Andy.
For example, right? And that was on grass as well.
It was
wasn't
on grass.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think the thing is, because we imagine him cutting in from the right-hand side, the immediate reaction when you put him in an Arsenal context is he's never getting past Saka. So what's the point in signing him?
At some point, Saka will get tired, though.
Yeah, there is that. And I think the way he finished last season is a good example, Saka, of how much he will benefit from a bit of rest here and there if he can get it, because they flogged him relentlessly in recent years. And I know he's so good that he almost demands that, but I think there's a duty of care, and it's the best thing for Arsenal to make sure he's fresh as well.
But they do have Nwaneri.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing with Madueke is, who's to say can't play him on the left-hand side? Because ultimately, anyone who's watched Arsenal regularly in the last couple of seasons, and certainly last season, will be thinking, you're either on the fence with Martinelli or you want to sell him. But there's not really that feeling now. He's not a young player anymore. It's like, when is he going to explode into that world beater? If I was them, whether you think they should be signing Madueke or not, I mean, the first thing I said when we were talking about this outside is they're going to sell Martinelli to Bayern Munich at the end of this season, at the end of this summer, didn't I? And I think they will.
Little prediction from Andy Brassel there. Yeah. Always welcome. But you're right, because I mean, Madueke towards the end of the season for Chelsea was playing a little bit more on the left. I think he started the Europa Conference League final on the left, maybe. And again, I go back to that brilliant display against Andorra, where he played on the left. So you're right.
Kept Raheem then. He probably played quite well in that match too.
You know what I mean? So clearly he can play either side as well. I mean, Trossard's the other one, but Trossard's a different option. So I
don't think many Arsenal fans think of Trossard as a starter.
No,
do they really?
No, but I think Madueke improves the Arsenal squad. I just wonder if you look at it and think, well, actually, could you put in more money in getting another player? I'm kind of like...
Don't you think part of it as well is the fact that Arsenal have had a bad time buying players off Chelsea?
Well, that indeed. And
that's a huge part of the reaction to this.
At some point, they've got to get it right, though, haven't they?
Yeah,
at some point, one of them's going to click.
Well, look, he's not 33, which I think is a great start.
It's like roulette, isn't it? When it's black 5 times, it's got to be red next, doesn't it?
Exactly.
And that's how I left Vegas, in my pants.
Or is it white? Is it red and white? Black and white? Black and red?
It's black and white, yeah.
Is it black?
No, black and red.
It's black and red.
If you're betting on white, that's why you lost all your money.
The Newcastle United one.
When I was on that plane telling that terrorist, always bet on white, baby. So it's not on the table, Peter.
Yeah. If it's white, we all lose. Okay. I don't know. Well, there we are. Now, old gentleman, let's go abroad. Ajax have agreed to let Jordan Henderson leave a year early.
Oh,
how about that?
I mean,
he's not anymore, though, is he?
No, he's not, because apparently he's set to sign with Brentford on a 2-year deal. He just loves red and white stripes.
Maybe he's planning to get a lot more work at Sky, because it's like 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah, a good point.
I fancy a better salt Sunday to me.
Do you think that's what it is? Can't be just that, can it?
Horse meat disco in Vauxhall.
Another one.
The guy loves Pride. He just loves it. Do you not think that he's just he wants to play in the next international tournament, and he didn't fancy a season getting whipped for Sunderland? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, though, for Brentford,
again, horse meat disco.
also in Brentford, they will need a leader on the pitch.
Yes.
Won't they just?
Yeah.
I mean, Sunderland could have done with that as well.
Sunderland really could have done with it.
They're all 18 years old.
Well, if you don't make him an offer...
Yeah, it's a good point.
I can understand why he hasn't gone back to Sunderland. Because they've signed a stack of good midfield players already. And you could make the argument about the experience and all the rest of it. But as well, there's got to be a little part of you, as Jordan Henderson say, do I want to go back to my boyhood club and it not be a triumphant return?
Yeah, maybe.
There must be a little part of that. For what it's worth... Probably because I did On the Continent with David Cartledge yesterday. I feel actually quite optimistic about Sunderland at the moment.
Really?
And I really like their early transfer window. Like as we said, we keep saying 11th of July, but still, it's a good start. It's a good start.
No, I think that's right.
They're North East Tottenham.
I was just showing everyone the picture of Ian Poverder's amazing sort of death metal jewellery. It's sort of like jewelry you see in Soho. It's like really chunky, grey silver kind of like signet rings and stuff.
If you walk past a very strong industrial magnet, you just be
straight in there.
Which is surely some sort of YouTuber should do that, shouldn't they?
What, jump in an MRI machine with a lot of drip on?
Not where I was going, but anyway, far be it from me to start.
There must be more metaler footballers. Surely,
yeah. It's the Finnish, any Finnish footballer.
That's true. Well, I think Henderson to Brentford, though, I do get it because you're going to an established Premier League side. I know that they've changed manager recently, but
yeah, it's a good move for him. Way better than Sunderland.
I do understand that.
It's a sort of endorsement for Keith Andrews as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And we all need an endorsement. Now, gentlemen, what about this? Former Newcastle United midfielder Alan Saint-Maximin has accused Fenerbahce of trying to dope him while he was on loan there last season.
This was a bloody great interview. So good.
That is an extraordinary sentence, but he claimed on a podcast that while he was injured, the club staff tried to give him treatment that's considered a doping product.
Well, it's good that he's on top of it.
Yeah.
A lot of footballers aren't.
Quickly, now he's injured. He can't run away. Saint-Maximin and Jose Mourinho, of course, fell out last season. Mourinho said that ASM was unfit and overweight. He did get back into the squad towards the end of the season before getting injured again.
I mean, that was, I have a bit of disdain for latter-day Mourinho.
Yes.
I actually really enjoyed this, where Mourinho slating him in some press conference, and Saint-Maximin responded with, well, sometimes... lies take the elevator and the truth takes the stairs.
Yes.
And he said, well, obviously the truth has to be fit enough to actually manage the stairs. Which I thought was excellent.
That was good. Well, if you're wondering how Fenerbahce have responded, they said they will utilise all options available to them in responding to Saint-Maximin.
Allardyce-esque.
Yes. In more serious matters, though, the club are also currently negotiating their stadium naming rights and shirt sponsorship with Chobani, the yogurt company.
Ooh.
We all like a bit of yogurt.
We do like a little bit of yogurt.
I'd like them the kit to sort of if you really want to go full sponge, but have a big sort of yogurt splatter on it.
Oh, yeah. Again,
yeah.
Let's not do that.
Why not?
It may have unfair comparisons with other fluids. So
very eloquently put, actually. I
Thank
thought
you, yeah.
it was a honey trap, and Pete sort of managed to avoid it.
Oh, honey and yogurt, lovely.
There you are,
delicious.
Saint-Maximin's interview, I've got to say, was really brilliant.
Go on then. What else did he say?
The interviewer asked him, so tell us about the move for Saudi. Obviously, trying to put it in a way that wasn't accusing him of just being a money grabber.
Because he's going back to Saudi now, is he?
He still belongs to Al Ain.
Yes.
And
28 years old. What a shame.
He went. The guy asked him, and he went, "I was getting 3 million at Newcastle. I was getting 15 million a year in Saudi. It's not even a question, is it?" No pretense at all.
As I say, Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah.
What is it about these kind of like one-off kind of like throwback footballers who just their conditioning is always off? If they get a few months off, you can't give them a few months off.
Yeah, you can't.
It's the same with Ben Arthur. It's the same with every other footballer we've had in that position. They're just like, they come back and they're just wrecks.
Yeah,
what have you done? What have you done this summer?
Presumably this tells us that he will end up being very, very good at paddle.
Yes, almost completely agree.
Especially if he's in the Middle East, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it big out there, I presume?
Yeah. Invented by in Qatar, wasn't it?
Ah,
It was.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Or popularised by Nasser Al-Khelaifi, anyway.
And loved by Jurgen Klopp as well.
Yeah.
Right, everybody, coming up after this, John Textor has been speaking some more, and we've got more cost-saving measures from Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Now to McCrory. Cross into the box. Headed clear. Mengi. Tanner shoots. Oh, it's an equaliser. Equaliser there from Tanner.
Route one, that, wasn't it?
Hey, welcome back to the Football Ramble.
Lovely.
Now, Crystal Palace, of course, still waiting to see whether they'll be able to play next season's Europa League competition. John Textor is still insisting that he didn't have a decisive influence at the club. Did you hear this, everybody? He appeared live on TalkSport yesterday with Jim White and Simon Jordan. And also there was a part of the show which was a phone-in with Crystal Palace fans. So, fair play to him for that, I suppose.
Fair play to him. He turned up in a Botafogo t-shirt.
Yeah, that was piss poor. Yeah.
I think somebody said at the time that he's very naughty chairman in that he just turns up and pretends he's just not in charge. He hasn't got any idea what's going on and stuff. It's very very Trumpian, let's say.
Yeah, it's that classic, incredibly wealthy man who just kind of like, I don't really know what's going on, guys. I'm a bit of a victim.
I'm a bit of a victim here.
I think you're missing some inverted commas around wealthy. There is a lot of shifting of money in the Textor empire.
Right.
Oh, I see.
I think it is fair to say, which is the whole issue with him, of course. I mean, to me, it has very strong Alan Stanford vibes.
Which one was Alan Stanford?
You know the guy who was going to fund cricket forever.
Oh, right.
Arrived at Lord's in a helicopter.
That's right.
And had Matt Pryor's wife on his lap, and all the rest of it. It was outrageous, and is now in prison.
Talk to me about Michael Knighton.
Michael Knighton, yeah, there's one.
Who's the guy who signed a sprayer for Darlington?
George Reynolds.
George Reynolds. I think he did have a bit of cash, to be fair.
Notts County. Remember
Notts
all that?
County,
Notts
yeah.
County
Notts
when they got
County,
Sven in and Solcam and all that. Yeah, so Textor said on the radio, if I had decisive influence, then those Brazilian players that just beat PSG in the Club World Cup, half of them would be coming to Crystal Palace next year.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
I love the fact that the one group of fans who still really support you are Botafogo, and you'd have.
I'm going to absolutely gut them.
I'm just going to nuke that as well.
I'm going to shuffle that pack as well. Yeah.
Yes. Simon Jordan said Textor is getting painted as the villain. A man who is often painted as the villain in some parts. In Textor responded to that, I don't care. The smart Palace fan knows I helped. He had a few little digs at Steve Parish, it's fair to say, during the interview. Asked about Parish, Textor said, I think his ambition every year is to avoid relegation. Our ambition is to climb the table. He was then asked if his hopes of taking...
That's very mealy-mouthed, isn't it? Not to make Europe. To climb the table.
One place is a climb.
That's true. He was then asked if his hopes of taking over Palace had been turned or ruined by UEFA's rules on multi-club ownership, and he replied, I never want to be the man. Ask the guy that drives the red Ferrari that, but I'm not the guy. I'm just one of yous.
Right, is that what he's saying? Right.
I mean, Andy.
Flabbergasted.
Well, look, I said most of what I wanted to say about it on the continent.
Well, you're not on the continent now, Andy.
Yeah. I should
on the
probably
ramble.
Talk about the Lyon Ultras put out a letter saying that they were relieved but not satisfied after the relegation was overturned on appeal this week.
What do they think of Textor? I mean, I'm pretty sure I can guess.
Next season. He was described in their open letter as a swindler, a thief, and a liar.
Wow. Not the opinion of the Football Ramble, but very much on the continent.
I think they went quite lightly on him.
Yeah,
right.
They pulled their punch there, didn't they?
They did. Blimey. Well, I mean,
should we talk about his last week?
Yes.
I'm
kind of lost for words.
This is just with Lyon. It's been revealed that he used 91 million euros of Lyon's money to buy players for Botafogo to help them win the Copa Libertadores.
Right.
He
And did they win it, Andy?
agreed. They did.
Money well spent then.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, just have one letterhead with 3 clubs on
Yeah,
it.
why can't Leon fans enjoy that?
Why can't they, right?
He should have flown him a load of over. I'll get you 10% off final tickets if you
Well,
want.
he did show himself at the hearing to not get relegated from Ligue 1, which obviously was a complete disaster in the first instance. He did arrive directly from the Club World Cup, again wearing a bit of Botafogo merchandise.
Yes, he's gone all in on
which is nice to see. It was also revealed this week that the naming rights for the Lyon Stadium, he agreed the deal and then forgot to sign it off.
So,
There's a lot of like forgetting to sign stuff here, isn't it? Yeah.
Earlier when
this is the guy who talked about his financial plan in a press conference, and then it was pointed out to him halfway through that he got the numbers wrong, so he started getting a pen out and jotting it.
It's like
down again.
it's
It is
stressing
Trumpian.
me out.
It's Trumpian.
It's uncut gems, is what it is. It's fucking stressful.
Yeah.
Just watching a man go from one disaster to another. Going, if I pay this man off, I'll be able to make enough money to do that. And it's just, oh God,
I mean,
you have to
leave the country.
You have to plant the magic beans yourself.
The other,
They don't do that for you.
The other big reveal this morning is it's been thought that Lyon, for their appeal, after Textor stepped aside from the presidency, and Michelle Kang, who owns the Lyon Women's Club and London City Lionesses, after she took over, she pulled an absolute blinder in getting this relegation overturned with the help of Michael Gerlinger, who was Director General at Bayern Munich as well. And she was explaining, after the appeal was successful, how they'd got through it. Gerlinger explained in this how they already had an agreement to buy a couple more players from Nottingham Forest, which I don't think we can get out of, were his words. And it had been thought that Michelle Kang and Michael Gerlinger had to prove that they had 200 million, like 100 million actually in the accounts and 100 million in a blocked account to get through this season. It's been revealed this morning that the amount was actually only 124 million, but they had to promise that Textor would never come back.
Nice.
I mean, it's amazing.
I did say earlier in this chat that he has the vibe of someone who's like, I don't really know what's going on, guys, and all. But maybe he's being genuine with that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one being harsh here. I don't know. But I mean, we
look. The main point is,
Yes.
whatever issues certain Palace fans might have or not with Steve Parish, your club is in much safer hands with him.
Yeah.
Than it is with John Textor.
But why? I mean, he talked about
Kang in.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Save us, Kang.
Should be in London now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, he
With
talked
the
about
London City
he talked
Lionesses.
about his
Fighting
love.
the Ninja Turtles.
Anyone?
Thank you.
No,
Krang.
they're the good guys, the Ninja Turtles.
No, Krang was
I
fighting
remember,
Ninja Turtles.
and that's what worries me about this, Michael. Because the Ninja Turtles
lived inside the belly of a massive man.
Yeah,
exactly. Thank you.
Very strange, isn't it? If you think about it.
It is very strange.
My goodness, the 90s were great. John Textor, he talked about his love for the English game and, you know, his first few matches and seeing various championship clubs and so on, and pretty much admitted that he would rather be owning a championship club, did he not? Something at one point.
Yeah, I mean, he's interested in Sheffield Wednesday after you've wondered.
Yes.
Especially if you're not a Sheffield Wednesday fan and you didn't maybe know about it already after Luke talked about it so eloquently on the Ramble. If you're wondering how things could get worse for Sheffield
So
Wednesday.
I was going to ask you about this. So if you are, because we saw this with Newcastle back in the day when Mike Ashley took over, and it was immediately, there was some money pumped in the club, and actually, you know, and the club wasn't in a great position. Textor's one of those owners where some people think, well, at least there is an owner coming in with money. We're in dire straits here.
But where's the money from?
Yeah, well, exactly. And this is the problem. He's one of those guys, isn't he? You know, I remember years ago, I think it was Luke or Jim said about the fit and proper persons test. One of the first questions should be, do you have the money you say you have?
Yeah.
And he seems to be one of those chancers who, as you say, shifts the money around.
We've had that with smaller clubs as well. You know, you look at what's happened at Morecambe, for example. You know, it's essentially flawed, isn't it? But it's not just in England, of course.
No.
Because remember, you have these really stringent financial checks in France, and you know, it didn't pick up anything that, you know, there should have been a massive red light over Textor that he just didn't have the money.
And with all the hoops you have to jump through in the bureaucracy in France, I'm amazed he got through it.
Yeah, but it's just, can you get through the season?
Yes.
Not, is this sustainable?
Well, if you want to hear more about the Lyon angle around this grim situation, then listen to yesterday's episode of On the Continent, where Andy Dotton and David Cartledge get into the details around how Lyon successfully appealed their relegation. David has had a few choice words for Textor. I can imagine what they were. Search On the Continent in your podcast app to subscribe and listen now. Gentlemen, let's talk about some more responsible ownership. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's latest cost-cutting measure at Manchester United has been revealed. The club has abandoned the tradition of giving pre-season opponents gifts. These gifts would usually include personalised shirts, other merchandise, or maybe a custom item to commemorate this fixture. And this cutting measure will start with their game against Leeds in Stockholm in mid-July. Is that because Leeds would just be like, we don't want a Man United?
Well, that's
shirt.
it. It recalls that Rob McElhenney line, doesn't it, from Welcome to Wrexham, where Tom Brady gives him the Birmingham shirt, and he shakes his hand and goes, "There's not a bin big enough for this." I mean, what is the last thing someone connected with Leeds would want? A Man United shirt.
That's great,
I think it's fair enough. Like most 99% of things that we get stuck into Sir Jim Ratcliffe about are fair enough. On this, it's just a waste of time, isn't it?
is a classic Man United top with Cantona on the back. Leeds United. How about that? There you go.
It.
Yeah, well, Manchester United sources insist it's a move away from needless ceremony and pomp, especially when facing English opponents.
Oh, we're down to sort of like brass tacks. Benthamism, utilitarian kind of we're going to make the shirts out of just the grass that we're running on. Love it.
Where would football be without needless ceremony and pomp, though, Peter?
I'd like to see the Club World Cup with a little less of that nonsense.
Yeah.
To be quite frank.
Are you not looking forward to the trophy being unlocked?
When,
this weekend.
As the yoghurt bursts out of it. Surprise yoghurt sponsor.
Yeah. I mean,
is Infantino borrowing your keys to the weekend?
He is not, Sandy. If I less said about that, the better. Well, Manchester United have also hired a Sportsology Group, a sports intelligence consultancy, to find a new head of senior recruitment. They consulted with the club when they appointed Erik ten Hag. So make what you will of that. So it's all go at Manchester United at the moment.
I do like it when they fire everyone. It's companies do this all the time. Someone rich comes in, they buy the company, they fire everyone, then they just get consultants in because they're more comfortable with those people.
Yes.
Because they're fresh and they're new and they're interesting and they pay over the odds and their bottom line ends up just being even further into the red.
And of course, it's a layer of deniability, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. It's them lot. We're not going to work with them again.
No, damn
Yeah.
right.
Your contract is gone.
All right, coming up after this, the Club World Cup reaches its conclusion, finally. Yes, everybody, the Club World Cup is nearly over. If you haven't seen any of it, your last chance is on Sunday, where Chelsea play Paris Saint-Germain. Good news is that President Trump, will attend the match in New York. Peter, according to Gianni Infantino, Trump's a huge soccer fan.
Yes.
Do you like how he translated it for?
I think he's a fan of anything that'll distract him from certain lists that have not been released. I think he would do anything right now to hide from all of that, to be honest.
Yeah. If I was thinking about this for next year's World Cup, and Andy, if you are going to attend, with all with the technology that they may have, because we've been hearing horror stories about people being denied entry to the US,
people searching their phones, stuff like that.
Searching phones, social media, and all the rest of it. I'm sure there's AI technology to be able to just kind of like go through like in its AI way, like listen to podcasts and all that kind of thing. May I recommend Toronto or Mexico City?
Well, did you hear? Because there was that great deal for PSG fans. Paris wanted to get more fans over, so they gave them a deal where for €500 you would get a flight there and back and a hotel and your match ticket.
That's a great deal.
€500,
which is really good.
That is a good deal.
And obviously you would have to get a day off work at a couple of days' notice and all that sort of stuff, or a couple of days off work. But what they did is they created a special lane like they did at the Qatar World Cup, so people didn't have to queue at customs for ages. But it was so inefficient that some PSG fans arrived just before half-time when it was already 3-0. And others, the ones who had to change at Detroit, actually were still in Detroit when the match finished.
And also the match kicked off late as well, didn't it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, well,
I don't think 10 minutes is really going to swing it if you're in a US immigration queue.
There's people still in Detroit. I'll have about 10 minutes. You don't know where Detroit is, do you?
There is a bit of a misjudgment. You sometimes don't realise what a big country the US is, do you?
It's chunky. It's a chunky lad,
Didn't
isn't
they
it?
delay the kick-off?
I'm just saying, it's 10 minutes. They had a bit of extra time.
Probably got time to get some nachos as well.
That's
Get a
wiggle
hot dog
room in
out.
my
On the way to
book.
your seat.
Don't worry, lads. There's good
Don't worry,
news
lads.
here. You've got time to find a bar.
I'll have another pint then, thank you.
You've had too many already.
Your terrible cause.
Yes. Well, obviously Chelsea playing PSG. I think Chelsea are going to manage it. I think Cole Palmer is going to take them apart.
Everyone's very excited for Chelsea. And they seem to have not sort of realised how well PSG have been playing recently.
It is quite a daunting prospect.
It's a daunting
isn't it?
prospect.
Well, indeed.
They've probably got the depth in squad that PSG probably don't have, but PSG are just playing beautiful football at the moment.
So you fancy PSG for it, do you?
Well, if they go 3-0 up in the first 10 minutes,
I'll reconsider. Now, FIFA's chief of global football development, Arsene Wenger, of course, has responded to Jurgen Klopp's negative comments about the Club World Cup after the big German said it was the worst idea ever invented. And if you remember those comments, it made Kaveh Solokol have a meltdown.
You can play paddle. You can go for a swim. It's a free world. If you don't like the Club World Cup, don't watch it.
For example.
Love that you've got separate buttons for those. Big fan of that.
Well, Big Veng has jumped to Kaveh's defence, or FIFA's defence, you may say. And he said, I don't share the view of Jurgen Klopp at all. I feel a Club World Cup is needed. If you make inquiries to all the clubs who were here, then 100% of answers would be that they would want to do it again. And the decisive question is, do the fans like it or not? We believe the attendances were projected as low, and in reality were much higher. The answer is there. I mean, you can't really argue with that, can you, Andy?
Unless you've been to one of the games at Orlando.
He did
Of
mention
course.
Orlando. He said, yeah, even Wenger went, I'll be honest, it was a bit hot in Orlando. Even he said that. So, again, usually, if you want to be on the right side of football history, I would take the opposite view of Arsene Wenger since he's been at FIFA.
Yes.
But he's been all about experimentation, hasn't he? He's been all about.
God,
all
but I mean,
about that, hasn't he?
yeah, but I mean, if you
Can't
look at
blame
him,
a guy for experimenting, can you?
yeah, I know, but stick to if Arsene Wenger belongs in a science lab, all right?
Right.
Him in a science coat and a lab coat it would just look great.
If we're talking about experimentation, this is like when Noel Gallagher got that French lady to play the scissors on Jules Holland.
But that was a piss take,
isn't it?
Was it a piss take?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
surely
Was it?
must
No.
be.
No,
I mean, the way he spoke about it after, he said it was a bit of a piss take. I think.
I think when people laughed at him, he said it was a piss take.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Arsene Wenger's not. Yeah, I was only joking. I think it's a terrible idea.
I still wonder with this Jurgen Klopp thing. I wasn't on when you were talking about that at the time. It is kind of ludicrous, though. He's backed himself into this weird corporate corner where it's like, one of your clubs was actually at the Club World Cup.
Yeah, and
Are you
also,
saying something that's important to your core business is something you don't give a shit about?
but he can't leave the fixture congestion pipe alone, can he?
No,
really?
he
He's
can't.
always honking on it.
He's always honking on that pipe.
He's always
Andy.
honking on that congestion.
Yeah, I mean,
pipe. On the exhaust of congestion.
Just trying to find a little bit of yoghurt down there. He can't. I don't know. I don't bloody know. Well, speaking of nonsense, what do you think of this? AC Milan's Serie A match against Como in February next year could become the first European fixture to be played abroad. In Australia!
Yeah.
sounds like a winner, doesn't it?
For clever ideas that people might have an issue with. I mean, this is about as far away from Italy as it's possible to be. So good on him for really going all out
That's
with
kind
the
of New
idea.
Zealand if you're going to do it. Do it
It's going to
properly.
be in Perth, isn't it? So it's going to be far away from most of Australia as well.
I love it.
I mean, it was. I remember when they've played the what do you call it, the Italian Super Cup in the Middle East before, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, I guess people will say they're surprised that Spain hasn't got there first because, of course, there have been games floated in Miami, for example. But the fact is that Italy was ahead of the game in this sense. Like, before any of the other countries, like 20 years ago, they were having the Super Cup abroad. They had the Super Cup in Tripoli, of course, when they had that weird relationship with Colonel Gaddafi.
Yes, so they did.
Who's a part sponsor of Juventus at the time. Surprise, isn't it? I think that. So the thing is, what they're doing is they're taking advantage of the fact that the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics is in San Siro.
Mm-hmm.
So like they can't use the San Siro that weekend. So they thought, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Bit of Australia. But I mean, really, this is one of those things that a lot of Europe's major leagues are going to carry on doing stupid things and things that really don't care about the fans, the local fans particularly. And they're just going to go, oh, it's the Premier League's fault. Because they earn so much money. We've got to find another way to make it up. So whether it's games abroad, whether it's the Super League, but it's all your fault. It's nothing to do with us.
But agreed, and I get all that. But just to kind of hone in on maybe the least important detail of it, Australia. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I just think untapped market for Serie A. I just, for Italian football, just might not be there.
Well, there might not be there.
I
mean, I think people may. I would imagine people would go and see it if the tickets weren't stupidly priced. But I mean, with fixture congestion, I know they've not got European football next season, but. Like I said, I don't know if there's a cup game. You know, they're playing 4 or 5 days.
Oh well, if they've not got European football, they could probably walk back, can't they? It's fine. I can understand why they're doing it, obviously, because I can understand why they're doing it, obviously, because Italy needs to expand globally. Because Como have got an eye on doing that. Of course, they're doing the special cup on the lake where they've got Ajax and Celtic, etc., come in this summer in Al Hilal. Milan are leaking money, so that's obviously while they're involved. But you're right; it's completely tone deaf in this like era of fixture congestion. Where's the most convenient place we can play abroad?
Try it out, but fundamentally, we just hope that idea dies.
Yes,
in a pipe like Gaddafi.
Yeah.
He didn't die in the pipe; he was dragged out and then killed.
The Italian Football Federation has been positive about the proposal this week. The fixture would need the approval from FIFA, UEFA, Football Australia and the Asian Football Confederation. So a few hoops to jump through there. But I mean, if they need money, Milan, just take the Saudi buck. It's there. You know it's there.
It's always going to be there.
Oi, do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Right then, let's turn our attention to international football. Have you seen that Dick Advocaat has extended his contract as the head coach of Curaçao until at least the end of next year? Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lovely old job.
Lovely old job, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Did you see the tweet to announce it, though? It's something that the Football Ramble Twitter account would have even turned its nose up at, I think it's fair to say.
Curaçao Football News on X tweeted, Dick extends!
I mean, that is right up X's street, to be fair. Grok's loving that.
It's brilliant.
Grok's high-fiving that account.
Oh, that is it. It's up there with Angel Fuchs, the Brazilian coach, or Argel Fuchs, when he left Brazil and went to Portugal. Fuchs off to Portugal.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very good stuff, that.
Yeah, come on. Let's not get through this and not mention Uwe Fuchs.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
Christian Fuchs.
Yeah.
No Fuchs given, as he would. As he
77 years old, old Dick Advocaat. Did you say that? I'm just fascinated by...
yeah.
I mean, if you were the head coach of Curaçao, you wouldn't be retiring, would you?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, he's managed 13 games since joining in 2024.
It's not a heavy...
Keep his powder dry.
Oh,
well, what was his comment on signing the extension? Oh, this is really snowballed.
He said, I'll have another pina colada on the veranda, please. That's what he should have said. Lovely, lovely stuff. So, yes, there we are, everybody. So, before we go, reminder that it is the Club World Cup this weekend, the final, of course. But it's not the only cup competition that is this weekend, because this weekend the Scottish League Cup gets underway.
Come on!
Just a Taurus knot of a season, this, isn't it?
And by the way, this is the new season.
Well, that's what I mean. Just never ends, is it?
Yeah, well, it has ended. This is a new beginning.
It's not ended. We still got the Club World Cup. What's going on? Who's in Champions League? Where's the Champions League qualifiers? Where's it going to? Oh God!
And if you think that it's just like smaller clubs and all that kind of stuff that participate in this round, oh no, all the Scottish Premiership clubs are involved, other than the ones who have qualified for European competition. So the magnificent Gorgie boys are back in action tomorrow.
At the end of a week in which former European Cup finalists like Malmo and FCSB played in the Champions League, and former UEFA Cup winners Shakhtar played in a Europa League game.
That's right, Andy. You see.
Proof that it never stops.